Welcome to the Double E Show. Bad strategy, horribly simulated. What's going on, everybody? Ep7 back with the Double E Show. It's Lamplight City. Still got a bad cold. Pray for me, people. I think I'm dying. Alright, so we need to locate Guy Dumas. We need to find out where Celine, the housemaid, went to, because she seems to have just disappeared from the face of the earth. So, let's go to the coffee house and see if we can get some help from our friend Upton.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Okay.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
Jean Dupree isn't talking very much. I think he's hiding something.
Well, you have a knack for making people divulge their secrets.
There has to be something that'll make him talk. Perhaps I should check with those close to him. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
My God. Okay.
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
Alright. So let's go to map. I already talked to people that are close to him. He's afraid of his wife. So let's go back to Jean Dupree.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Can we talk, Mr. Dupree?
I suppose so. Yes.
Do you fear your wife, Mr. Dupree?
Do I... what?
The question's quite simple. Are you afraid of Madame Dupree?
Why in the easy would you think that?
I'd be afraid of someone who kept a bloody whip in my bedroom. Care to explain that?
You don't know her like I do. No one does. Well, no one aside from the servants, I suppose. She's cruel, Mr. Fordham. Crueler than anyone or anything I've ever seen.
Right.
Tell me more about Madame Dupree's cruelty.
She treats the servants like animals, Mr. Fordham. She would say the most vile, awful things to them. Things I would expect to hear on the Gascon docks, not from the lips of a grande dame. And the beatings. Oh, God. The screams I would hear from somewhere in the house. I never dared find out where.
Nobody else ever heard the screaming?
No. She was cunning. She would do it when no one else was around. Once she knew I had heard, she threatened me. Told me she would...
Yes?
She threatened to expose my secret, Mr. Fordham.
And what secret is that?
Our marriage is one of convenience. It's all for show. Laura has herself a well-to-do husband, and I am a normal man in the eyes of society.
I see. I suppose that would explain a few things.
Well, now, how was that not obvious to you? The soporific is really having a bad effect on you.
Don't worry, Mr. Dupree. Your secret's safe with me.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham.
Okay.
Tell me what you know about Guy Dumas and Celine.
Celine had an accident.
What kind of accident?
Laura thought Celine had been stealing her silverware. She got a bit carried away with a beating and...
Dupree killed Celine?
Yes, she did. In order to keep it quiet, she had Celine placed in our family tomb.
I see. What about Guy?
I don't know. I never saw him again after that.
Well, this case has certainly taken a turn for the sinister.
I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
Okay. So... we can't go back to the cemetery because we punched the guy in the face. Probably can't go back to the jail because we'll probably get arrested. go talk to the daughter.
She's busy. Best not to bother her until we have something to ask her.
Okay.
As amusing as it is to chat with this oddball, I think we've...
Right on.
Amelie?
Yes? What is it? We mustn't be seen talking.
I found this upstairs in Madame Dupre's bedroom. Do you recognize it?
Oh, please take that away, Mr. Fordham. Why would you show it to me?
I'm sorry, I didn't think it would upset you.
Miles. Maybe someday you'll learn how to read basic human emotions.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now, please, let me get back to work.
Okay. So, I got a feeling this guy Dumas is the one that tried to take care of Miss Dupre, or Madame Dupre.
This quack hasn't got anything more for us to learn right now.
Okay. So, let's go here. Let's go back home. Our wife is not here. Same newspaper? Yep, same newspaper. Okay. Not exactly sure.
I'd love to see the look on Snelling's face if he ever found out you kept your old truncheon. Bollingworth Ale. My favorite! And a nice souvenir from the Angel. You really ought to go back there someday.
Where is my wife?
I'm certain a permanent indentation in the shape of your rear is starting to form on that thing.
Right?
I always liked that self-portrait of Adelaide's mother. Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how long.
So? Addie gave it to me. Besides, it gives me character.
Right. Brooding detective in a long black coat. That's never been seen before.
What are you talking about, Bill?
Never mind.
Right, okay.
Adelaide's last performance. She could really bring the house down.
Okay. So, Adelaide isn't here. Let's go... Well, I could have went to the map from here. Alright, let's go back to the cemetery. Well, nobody's garden said plot. So, crypt.
These
unmarked.
crypts are reserved for future generations of Chestertons to rot in.
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spending eternity cozied up to one another.
Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 1843. A good man. Rest in peace.
So,
These crypts are reserved...
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons... This must be what was going to be Madame Dupre's final resting place.
I don't see anything inside.
What, were you expecting a note from her attacker?
No, but I was hoping for some kind of clue at the very least.
That nest is full of eggs. But where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you, Miles? I suppose the whole heaven shining down upon the tomb motif is good for the dead people's self-esteem. I have to admit, it's a fairly ingenious hiding spot.
right?
I have to admit.
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't even begin to know which one to,
Jane Scott Chesterton, Desmond Chesterton, John Patrick, William Arthur Chesterton, Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon. Rest ye with the angels.
Wait a minute. This is Celine, the maid. Somehow a piece of paper got wedged into the side of the vault.
pull on the paper, use tweezers on the paper.
Carefully now. Got it. Nice work, Fordham. Now to see what this is.
Right on.
Interesting.
Leaving notes for the dead. How very touching. I wonder if anyone has left me one at my grave.
Quiet, Bill. I need to think. We know this note is likely from Guy. Now we just need to figure out where to find him.
Is there anything on the other side of that piece of paper?
Bill, you're a genius.
I wouldn't give me all the credit just yet.
Let's see. A receipt for an extended stay at the Stun Arms. Does that sound familiar at all?
Vaguely. But I can't recall anything off the top of my head.
Looks like we'll have to do a bit more searching.
Right on. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Guy's note. Madame Dupree's cruelty. Guy's now becoming a serious contender for find out what and where the Stun Arms is. Okay. All right. So let's hop out of here and hope to not get arrested.
The plaque says Harrison. Doesn't look very...
Okay, so the Stun Arms. So let's see if Upton has any help for us.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Doesn't generally lately.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
I found this note in the Chesterton tomb. I think it was left by the person who attacked Madame Dupree.
Nice work. Sounds like you're about ready to wrap things up.
I will be as soon as I find him. Take a look at the other side of it.
Part of a receipt for a hotel?
Yes, but the name is only partially visible at the bottom.
Stun Arms. The only hotel that comes to mind is the Boston Arms in Chumley.
Of course! I knew the name sounded familiar. The stories I could tell you about that place. Not right now.
You're helpful as always, Upton. Thank you.
Good luck, Fordham. I hope you find your suspect.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Okay. Let's go to the map. Chumley. The Boston Arms.
Who is it?
Mr. Dumas, listen to me. I don't want to make this into more of an issue than it should be, but I believe it's in your best interest to let me in so I can speak with you.
Just a moment.
I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. It's extremely important I speak with you, Mr. Dumas.
What do you want?
Just to talk. May I come in?
Yes, I suppose so.
I found your note in St. Denis Cemetery. Care to explain what it means?
How did you...
I'm a private investigator, Mr. Dumas. That's what I do. Now we can either do this the easy way or the hard way. It's up to you.
I left that note for Celine. I didn't think anyone would ever find it.
So it was you who attacked Madame Dupree?
Yes. Yes, it was me. I confess.
I can't remember the last time a suspect actually confessed. If only they were all like this.
But please, Mr. Fordham, you have to understand. The woman is evil. If only you knew what she did. Please, don't arrest me, Mr. Fordham. You have to know the truth about Madame Dupree.
Relax, Mr. Dumas. I'm not going to arrest you just yet. I'm perfectly willing to hear your side of the story. Now let's take this nice and slow. What can you tell me about Madame Dupree?
She seemed like a nice woman at first, but after working for her, I came to know how awful she truly was. When no one was around, she would beat me and some of the other servants for fun, say the most cruel things, call us horrible names.
Why didn't you just leave?
She threatened us, told us she would make it impossible for us to get work anywhere else. It's already difficult enough getting a job that doesn't force you to operate those awful machines. To be blacklisted by Madame Dupree would have been the final nail in the coffin.
How did you come to be employed by Madame Dupree?
I used to work in an iron factory in Chomley, but a few years ago, they brought in some steam machines to help production. One of the machines had a problem, and my friend Connor and I were assigned to fix it. We had no idea what we were doing, but we wanted to keep our jobs. I don't know what happened, but the next thing I knew, Connor was dead, and I was badly hurt. I swore never to go near one of those machines again. After I got better, I spent a few months looking for work, but it was impossible to find any jobs that didn't involve steam tech. Then I found out about Madame Dupree. Working at her home seemed like an improvement. I had a decent bed to sleep in. The work was not difficult, and I even made friends with her daughter. But Madame Dupree soon showed her true nature.
Tell me about Celine.
Oh, my dear Celine. She was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. We were going to get married, you know. Then that devil killed her. She beat her to death in front of me. I was powerless to do anything. Please, Mr. Fordham, I don't want to remember. Let us speak of something else.
So why did you attack Madame Dupree in the way you did?
I knew that if I went to her home and killed her, I would be caught and thrown in jail. I needed to find a way to do it quietly and not make anyone suspicious. Also, I wanted her to suffer for what she did to my Celine. I had read about toxic plants in Juliet's schoolbooks, and I knew a bit about them from working as a gardener. So I decided to poison Dupree and make her appear dead so she could be buried alive and suffer the same way she made us when she would lock us away in her secret room.
Did you say secret room?
Yes, Mr. Fordham. It was no bigger than a coffin. She would place us inside if she was especially mad at us, with no food or water, sometimes for days at a time. We couldn't scream because she would stuff our mouths. She would also plug our ears and cover our faces.
How often did she put you in there?
Only a few times, but that was more than enough. I'd rather not think about it.
So you have no idea where it is?
None. I only remember Madame Dupree would say the same thing any time she was about to put someone in there. A perfect servant must behave. I've told you everything, Mr. Fordham. Are you still going to arrest me?
I haven't quite decided yet, Mr. Dumas. If I can find this secret room, it would be enough to charge Madame Dupree with a crime. However, if you haven't been telling me the truth...
I have been, Mr. Fordham. I swear it. I'll even make you a deal. If you promise me you'll try to find the secret room, I won't leave this hotel.
All right, Dumas, it's a deal.
Well, at least now we can go straight to Upton and have him taken in. Unless you really do believe him about the secret room.
I kind of do.
Do you know Albert Martin?
No. Who is that?
He's Juliet's lover, falsely accused of the crime you committed.
I had no idea.
Are you going to let an innocent man die because of what you did?
No, of course not. I suppose things got out of hand. It was not my intention for someone else to take the blame for my actions.
That's all for right now, but I'll be back.
Yes, Mr. Fordham. I'll be here.
Okay. So, that phrase... Alright. So... No. I love how he just kind of goes wherever he wants to, you know. Okay. So, bookcase.
There are way more important things to concern ourselves with now than browsing Madame Dupre's book collection. There are way
Alright, I thought there would be a book that was entitled,
Nothing else of interest in there. You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me.
Okay. Out there. No. No. Alright, let's go out to the map. There was that one statement.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
Yes, I am.
We haven't got anything else to ask him about right now.
Oh, jeez. Okay. And my wife is still not home. Right? Right, still not home. Okay. So, I think that's going to do it for this week. I think when we come back in the next episode, we'll figure out where this secret room is hidden in the house. It's got to be something that has to do with the servant. Yeah, it has to do with the servant. So if I come back here, yeah, we'll do this next week. Not next week, the week after, because I'll be on vacation next week. So listen, if you like what you're watching, hit that like and subscribe button down below. Tell your family, tell your friends. If you have any suggestions, put them in the comments below. No spoilers, because I will read them. And with that, I will catch you in a couple of Mondays from now for another episode of Lamplight City. Peace. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out the playlist above, or watch what YouTube tells you to on the right. Oh yeah, and subscribe.